Taking on Bryophyta is a great way to get into PvM in Old School RuneScape, and an even better way to escape free-to-play. But what if I told you that while you've been hunting the essence, you've been fighting an unknown force behind the scenes, making it harder and harder? This is the story of how I discovered the glitch, and it all starts with my free-to-play onechunk account. Let's see where we are headed next. Oh no, not again. If what you just saw makes no sense to you, let me give you the quick rundown. In April of 2023, I started my xtreme onechunk free-to-play to bond account. For this type of account, you pick a starting chunk, you create a rule set, and then you complete every possible task within that chunk before you roll a new one. With that new chunk comes access to new items and activities, which means you'll have a whole new set of tasks to complete before you then move on to roll another new chunk, and so on and so forth. With my new access to the Varrock Palace chunk, that means I now have access to the Varrock sewers, which means I must go into those sewers and kill moss giants for their mossy keys, so that I can take on Bryophyta and hunt the rarest drop that she has, Bryophyta's essence. This is why I was so sad, because this chunk is going to take me hundreds and hundreds of hours to complete before I will be able to finally roll a new one. All of this is what led to me going up against the dreaded moss giantess, looking like this. But it's not all doom and gloom. This account has 15,000 hobgoblin kills under its belt, so the stats are pretty beefy. Additionally, I have access to free-to-play's best food, which is cooked swordfish, and I also have protection prayers. So I'm pretty confident I'm going to be able to take her on, but at the same time, I'm kind of just gauging to see where the account is at to see how much more training I might need to do to take her on if this isn't enough. Now, to my surprise, when looking back at the footage of this very first kill, the glitch actually does happen, which is kind of surprising because it doesn't happen during every kill. But let's jump into the clip and see if you can figure out what it is. So let's hop in here and see how rusty my mechanics are. I have fought her probably 50 or 60 times on a different account, but it has been quite a while. So let's see how this goes. No, that wasn't the essence. The loot beam was just for the beginner clue scroll. I got 10,000 coins, which to this account at the time was quite a lot. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the bug, so let's rewind the fight and I'll show you. At this point in the fight, I am taking on my second set of growthlings, and you'll see that immediately after I kill the third one here, a new set of them respawns the second that I click attack on Bryophyta. If we take a look at the wiki page for the growthlings, you'll notice that there's supposed to be a 1 in 5 chance that the growthlings spawn on the tick that Bryophyta attacks. But if we take one more look at this first instance, you'll notice that they don't spawn on the tick that she attacks, but the tick that I click attack on her. So here it is one last time in slow motion. And this brings us to today, where I am back in front of Bryophyta's gates with 20 more keys. And this time, I'm going to keep track of every growthling spawn that I encounter while I take her on to try and get some conclusive evidence to show that clicking on Bryophyta after the last growthling is killed actually does cause more growthlings to spawn than letting auto-retaliate do the work. Before I start collecting data, I'd like to let you know that if I do get the essence during one of these kills, I'll be giving it away to a subscriber. I'll also be stacking all 20 beginner caskets to open up at the end of the video. I'm also working my way towards 1,000 subscribers, and I'd love it if you'd become one of them. So, if you're not, go ahead and hit the button, and if you are, please like and leave a comment. Alright, going in for Bryophyta kill number 1. And I will be using the auto attack method for this one, so let's see where the numbers turn up. Alright, there's kill number 1 for some strength potions. Don't need those, but you know, we'll take it. And that was 3 growthling spawns on that one. That's a pretty low number, but we don't have anything to compare it to yet, so let's come back in after we get our prayer refreshed, and we'll see how we do when we do not use auto attack. Alright, that first kill was very rusty. Let's try to clean it up this time. But more importantly, we're counting growthling spawns here, and this time I will be manually targeting Bryo after I kill the growthlings, and we'll see what the outcome is. Alright, that concludes the second kill for 100 death runes. There were 4 spawns in that kill, but if you noticed, although I probably sped through it for the video, none of them were instant respawns after I immediately clicked on Bryo, so even though that one was one more, it wasn't really because of the reason we're here to investigate. The first one I catch on camera, I will make sure to pause the video for and show you. But for now, we have a clue scroll to do and much more killing. The first 5 kills were very uneventful. Actually, all of them resulted in 0 instant respawns from the growthlings, making me second guess whether or not I had made this up. But no sooner than I began to doubt, my suspicions were confirmed. In kill number 6, where I was doing another round of manual targeting, I encountered the bug again. There is the first instant respawn of the test. As you probably just saw in the video, I just finished off a set of growthlings. I manually attacked Bryo and immediately another set spawned. So that is exactly what we're after to kind of prove this glitch here. And there is finally one on the tally sheet. So, I didn't make it up. It does happen. And it happened in conjunction with me manually targeting Bryophyta right after a set of growthlings, which was exactly what I was looking for. But would all the data pan out this way? Or is this just a one-off? 6 kills in, and I'm finally beginning to build my case. But, of course, as fate would have it, on the 7th kill, this happened. That was pretty much another instant respawn, but this time, it came on the auto attack. So this one goes against the theory. We'll have to keep collecting data and see what ends up happening. Now all there is left to do at this point is finish off the 20 kills and see what the numbers look like when we have a bigger sample size. So that's exactly what I went and did. Wow, fast kill absolutely shredded her that time. But just a rune chain body, no key to bring us back in. So let's go get this final casket, analyze some data, and open some caskets. Boy, doesn't that sound fun. After 20 kills, we have collected our data and now we can take a look at it. I'll throw it up here on the wall for you all to see. On the left side of your screen, we have our auto attack numbers. This was the attack style where I didn't click on Bryophyta to attack her immediately after the growthlings were destroyed. I just simply let auto attack retaliate. If you remember from the intro, this was the method that I thought would trigger less instant respawns of the growthlings and create quicker kills overall. And on the right hand side of the screen we have our manual target results. This is where after I killed that third growthling I would immediately click attack on Bryophyta again, and this was the method that I thought triggered more instant respawns of growthlings in my experience. Taking a look at the numbers, my theory is backed up after 20 kills, although I will say it's pretty tight and not quite as conclusive as I expected it to be. In my memory, there was a lot more times where the instant respawn was triggered by manually targeting Bryophyta, but in these 20 instances, it did actually outweigh just allowing auto attack to take over. So I guess it's up to you whether or not you think these numbers are conclusive enough to call this a bug or a glitch, or I guess potentially a feature that Jagex for some reason put in there. I will say I really enjoyed making this video. I was doing some mining for my onechunk account at the same time, and it was really enjoyable kind of playing the two accounts at the same time. So if you guys are not convinced, I could go ahead and grab another 30 keys and we could extrapolate this data out to 50 to see where the numbers lie there. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe this video so that I know that you enjoyed seeing the content, and then I'll consider making more. Also, side bonus, if I do make another video, that just gives us a bunch more shots at getting the essence, which will then make its way into one lucky subscriber's hands if I can indeed get that drop. So there is some motivation for both of us here to make this video, so go ahead and let me know if you want me to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to open those 20 caskets as promised, and that'll be the end of the video. Alright, as promised, let's open these 20 caskets and see if we can get lucky, maybe get some uniques. You never know. We're going to do 5 at a time. Here's the first 5. Wow. That is a banger. We're starting off with the hard leather body, don't you forget it. Bunch more junk here. Lots of leather. Don't love to see it. Staff of air. And staff of fire and steel battle axe. That is a lot of junk. I don't even know where to put all that junk, honestly, but let's grab 5 more and pray that we do better than those first 5, because that was miserable. Nope, not off to a good start. 9 cabbages. Ooh, I know these are beginner clue caskets, and they're not supposed to be like world breakers or anything, but honestly, Jagex, I think you need to buff these. They're hardly even worth a free-to-play mains time, to be honest with you. 7 nature runes, some steel garbage, 1 pair of leather vambraces, ouch. Steel plate body and sardines, and the law runes. This honestly has gone much worse than expected, and we only have 5 left. Please let me hit the collection log at least. Okay, I mean, that's probably the best one we've had so far. Some more law runes. 8 herrings. A water staff. And we are down to 1. Oof. Please, last casket, save us. No. Nope, it didn't save us. That was awful. Taking a look here at the tracker, we pulled 18.4K's worth of literal garbage. And down here below, if you were curious, here is all the Bryophyta loot. Totaled up to 332K. Didn't get the essence, so no big home run there, and nothing really to write home about in either of these. This is not shedding a good light on free-to-play, to be honest, but it is what it is, and we didn't do it for the rewards, we did it for the data. If you made it this far, huge thank you to you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.